All right, well, number 16 Omaha heads for a series this weekend at number 18 Minnesota State. We'll open questions up for Coach.
So, Coach, the team had some good opportunities on Saturday night, but just seemed to not have great luck shooting pucks wide over the net. What did you say to them in practice this week then to just kind of help them refocus and understand they're doing the right things? It just wasn't happening for them.
Yeah, that's a great point. One of the things you got to do is kind of take a breath a little bit, and obviously still, even though, like you said, some good things, losses are losses and they're hard to take and don't make you feel good. So kind of digest that a little bit, and then on Monday you got to look at a game plan and come ready to work, and that's exactly what we did there. So actually, two really, really good practices here on Monday and Tuesday, and followed up with some special teams work today. But really proud of the group just to kind of keep that focus, keep that process mindset of sticking with it and doing the work necessary to keep improving. So really good job by the group, but not easy to go through.
In a lot of ways, obviously, now you go play a Minnesota State team that's coming off a big win. Obviously, another tough challenge ahead of you. Can almost be a positive to be able to have that ability to flush it, put that attention straight away towards a series like this, and now can you move past this past weekend?
Yeah, I think, again, it's just kind of the nature of hockey. There's so many ups and downs throughout a season, and we're playing our third team that's ranked kind of thing right this season, so it's not going to get any easier. But again, that's what you got to deal with. You got to just find ways to, like you said, just keep moving forward and keep what's right in front of you. What do you got to focus on this week? How do you get better? What was the feedback from the weekend that we can use in order to keep on developing? And that's exactly what we did. So again, who knows what the results will be this weekend? But what we got to do is make sure we're getting better this week.
What type of challenge do they give you?
A little bit of, you never want to lose, but again, ultimately, when you look back, we gave up our lowest chances out of any of the 4 games we played on Saturday night. We lost 4-0. And the game we gave up the most chances, we beat Gophers 2-1, right? So that's hockey for you a little bit. And so you just have to use these opportunities to keep growing and keep learning and not brush it under the rug, but also making sure it doesn't get you down too much and be focused on the work that's necessary ahead of you there. So I think that's what we take away from it.
You guys got them in an exhibition the last 2 years. Anything you can take just from their play style or what you learned from those to apply it here?
Yeah, they're a good hockey team, and I think just looking at the results, you can see that they beat Michigan, they beat North Dakota, they almost beat North Dakota twice, and so I think there's enough just in their results of preparation that you're walking into a tough environment there. So they're a good team. They play very fast, they skate extremely well, so it's going to be a tough competition.
You got a trophy on the line again this weekend that might help motivate the guys. Do they know about the Spirit of the Mavericks trophy and what the history is?
Yeah, especially the guys coming back with having them previously in exhibition games, kind of nice to revive a little bit of a rivalry that even goes back to when I played here, kind of thing. So that will be kind of nice, and kind of a close proximity there. So nice to play some of these teams that are within driving distance for our fans and for the team. So it should be a nice rivalry here to hopefully continue to get started. We got them back in Omaha next year for 2 here too, so that'll be great to have a good opponent both play there and have them back in Omaha.
You just mentioned it yourself. This is a foe you played against as a player. Obviously, a lot of history between these two programs. How fun or unique, I guess, is it to kind of rekindle that rivalry, if you will? Yeah,
I think it's great. I think anytime rivalries are good for sports, and especially with the proximity of the locations, and obviously both Maverick teams. So it should be a fun event here for this weekend.
How much of this is mental for your guys? Like, all your wins have come against ranked teams this year, but then you get 2 losses against an unranked team. How does that kind of play into how you're approaching this coming weekend?
Yeah, I think it's a mental challenge. You don't feel good when you get a result like that we had this past weekend. So it really challenges your mindset. It's easy to get down and to start over-analyzing everything and bring out the drawing board, and it's hard to just really step back, look at it strategically, and then make a plan and go do the work. And so I think it's good for you mentally. It's good for the staff to go through it. I mean, we learned a lot there too. We made a couple of mistakes on Friday and Saturday that were, to me, we gave away the game on Friday and made some crucial errors on Saturday. So that's real life feedback that you got to take. So, and I think it's all mental. It's all mental. So sometimes you got to go through it to learn the lesson, and we went through it, and now we got to learn and continue to get better.
You mentioned special teams a couple minutes ago. How do you avoid frustration, or kind of guys pressing starting to set in this early in the season with those units?
Yeah, you got to again know the situation, and I think the first and foremost is you have to know how hard you have to compete and be ready for it. Whether a mistake happens or something doesn't go your way or bounces over your stick or things like that. Those are not in your control, but you got to make sure the control boards are at an elite level. Right? That's your attention to detail. That's your focus. That's your sense of urgency. So those things, to me, you got to be relentless on. And usually when you do that, good things happen there. So again, you can't press the panic button, but you also got to make sure you're opening up looking under the hood and making sure you're fully examining everything and you're doing everything you can to be successful.
This is going to be your first true road test of the season. What do you tell the guys, and what kind of a difference is that going to be versus playing a neutral site and getting your first couple at home?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good experience for guys. It's always a hostile environment when you go on the road, and teams have good fan bases. So I think it's a really good opportunity to come together as a group a little bit, experience that on the road together, and face that head on as a group together. So I like it. I think our schedule actually isn't bad this year, where we're a little bit home and away, and I like that setup because it gives you a chance to get on the road, which is a little bit different feeling, and then get you to come back and be in a home, which obviously we'd love to be in Baxter Arena as well.
Speaking of Baxter Arena, today's the 9th anniversary of the first game at Baxter Arena.
Okay.
And with Jordan mentioning your time here as a player, you had a unique situation playing at the Civic Auditorium and then the CHI, previously named. What kind of advantage has it been, or what are the differences for these guys playing at Baxter Arena compared to when you were a student
Yeah,
athlete?
for fun, we should put the guys through what our schedule was like back when you used to have to work out on campus and then drive and then bust to a rink and things like that. It's a good idea. Maybe we'll give them a little taste of how good it is here, because that's exactly why it's unbelievable here, because you do get a one-stop shop. You get to come here every day and practice and work out and train and recover and eat and all those good things that are right in this location there. So there was a lot of time on buses and driving and running from class to practice, and you just probably didn't get as much of that valuable hockey time that maybe you get here with everything being on campus. So definitely fortunate to be on campus here, and we definitely love our home in Baxter Arena for sure.
One more of the power play. I guess a little bit more big picture of this. How do you find a balance between just getting shots and getting chances, or getting grade A's on that look?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the things our power play has to do is generate more in-house opportunities there, right? It's great to move the puck around and be premier, but you've got to have that. Your end goal is to attack the net and to get inside that area where probably 80% of the goals come from. So I think, and we did a good job of that today, working on that. You have to, at every opportunity, look to attack and that be your first thought rather than just to move the puck around and be perimeter with it there. So that's definitely a focus today, and working on just the technique of that too, to allow yourself the positioning to attack before the penalty kill recovers into its structure. So those are definitely things that you gotta keep improving on.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Since we talked to you last week, Victor Mancini got his first goal, and then he's got 3 straight games with a point. What can you say about just him taking advantage of that opportunity and making the most of it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, right? It's pretty cool to see him doing it at the highest level there, and obviously New York's off to a hot start as well there too. So to see a player that you just coached 5 months ago have that type of success at the National Hockey League is pretty special there. So definitely somebody we're keeping track of and watching, and lots of texts with, and he's really enjoying himself. And I think they just got a guy back from injury too, and he's still in the lineup. So he's obviously doing a really good job earning his ice time there.
I think we're good. Combined.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my question.
Okay. Good.
Matt read my mind.
There you go.
Speaking of pro hockey, like the Frozen Frenzy was yesterday,
Yeah.
how much pro hockey did you watch yesterday, and how much do you kind of pull from games that you do get to watch to kind of teach your guys?
Yeah, unfortunately, the last few days I haven't had a chance to have the time to watch it, but I do really enjoy it. Oftentimes in the morning there too, there's a great little app you can watch the 5-minute recaps of the 10-minute condensed games there, or if I'm looking something specifically. For me too, fortunate to have some coaches that I'm close with in the National Hockey League, so just to even watch some of their games, whether it is power play or penalty kill or 5-on-5 play, sometimes you can just look for certain tendencies you're seeing at that level as well too. So definitely love it when there's lots of NHL hockey on, and when you get the opportunity, it's one of my favorite things to do.
How many similarities do you see between the college and pro game today?
Yeah, there's quite a bit. Like if you look at it from an analytical standpoint, analytics are pretty close when you look at the same principles to study a game back from an analytical lens through the NCAA. They've done those surveys and tests on it, but obviously those are the best players in the world, so the decision making is a little quicker, the execution's a little higher level. So you got to be careful to try to incorporate everything they're doing at that level, at this level, but there's a lot of similarities.
Coach Noel Bernier kind of likes to work that NHL video, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Way through the summer and stuff.
Well, obviously Burns is running the power play, and he does a really good job doing that exact thing, finding NHL clips and showing our guys certain techniques. He did a great job just this week, even teams we play against in college. Some of the top power play units. Never want to give North Dakota too much credit, but there's some good individuals they've had over the years that are very good at certain things on the power play. So even showing clips of that type of player, I really think helps our guys learn. So even you're showing them doing it, you're showing an NHL player, another really good college player doing it. It really helps them learn and grow. And he's one of the best at finding the footage to show guys.
Any memorable moments or stories from when you did play Minnesota State back in your playing days or up in Mankato?
Yeah, man. Gosh, I've got a bad memory. I can't. Too many hits probably. But it. I think it was always kind of neat. Just with. I think we used to do a home and home with them, which was a little bit tougher on the travel probably. So, but again, I think it was just a good rivalry. I thought they were kind of always pretty good competition for us, and there was a lot of parity, I think, between the two schools. So it was always meant for a pretty good challenge for the weekend there. So that's probably all I can give you. Yeah.
Did you bring it to your team's attention, like that? Hey, they just shut out North Dakota. This team's for real.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing about today's athlete is they know. They know they beat Michigan. They know they beat North Dakota. They know. Watching the game back, I think actually North Dakota was fortunate to win on Friday. They were up. They could have been up, I think, 3-0 if they would have got a goal that counted there. So, yeah, it's real, man. It's gonna be a tough battle here. And again, I think for us, just keeping our focus on us and just not getting too far. It can get overwhelming a little bit if you start looking too far down there. And again, we got a lot of new guys and a lot of guys that are playing elevated positions and they're used to playing from the previous teams they were on. So that takes time to go through that and learn and grow and get some real life feedback and some adversity and keep on working. So just really trying to keep our focus narrow on just what are we doing today that's going to get us better. And I think when you do that, you do the work, you take away the external thoughts of, that are just not good for you, right? They just freeze you, right? Because you're just so worried about the outcome, and allows you just to get to work and do the work that's going to help you get better.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot.
Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.